This is Dan Dix here reporting for Press for Truth, coming at you with another installment of What You Need to Know. And today we're going to be talking about President Trump shooting himself in the foot by saying that he's first looking to take the guns, and then that whole thing called due process, yeah, that can come after the fact. And not to mention, he shot himself in the other foot by announcing that they're soon going to be launching a trade war and implementing tariffs on steel and aluminum to the tunes of upwards of 25%. So we'll talk about why that's a bad idea. We're also going to take a look at Infowars and the fact that, love him or hate him, Alex Jones just had his YouTube channel suspended by leftist radicals who seem to have infiltrated all of our social media platforms. And last but not least, are the guys from Fubar and the Trailer Park Boys awake and aware of the issues that PFT exposes? Spoiler alert, yep. In our first story for today, in case you missed it, here's what President Trump had to say in response to a comment from Mike Pence about gun confiscation in America.
I think in your meeting with governors earlier this week, individually and as a group, we spoke about states taking steps, but the focus is to literally give families and give local law enforcement additional tools if an individual is reported to be a potential danger to themselves or others. Allow due process so that no one's rights are trampled, but the ability to go to court, obtain an order, and then collect not only the firearms, but any weapons in the possession of that individual.
Or might take the firearms first and then go to court, because that's another system, because a lot of times by the time you go to court, it takes so long to go to court to get the due process procedures. I like taking the guns early, like in this crazy man's case that just took place in Florida. He had a lot of firearms, they saw everything. To go to court would have taken a long time. So you could do exactly what you're saying, but take the guns first, go through due process second.
Yes, you heard that correctly, ladies and gentlemen. Take the guns first, and then go through due process second. If this doesn't snap Trump supporters out of their hashtag mega delusion, then I don't know what will. The right to bear arms in America is a fundamental right. And in fact, it was so important to the Founding Fathers that it came in at number 2, right behind the right to free speech. When a president can sway from the right all the way over to the far left like that when it comes to so-called gun control, then it should be blatantly obvious that what we're dealing with here is a false left-right paradigm. America is ruled by a one-party system. It's called the deep state or the secret government, and the puppets that they control carry out their agendas lock, stock, and barrel whether they realize it or not. This is Bill H.R. 5087 that was introduced to Congress just 5 days ago to regulate the importation, manufacture, possession, sale, or transfer of assault weapons and for other purposes. This act may be cited as the assault weapons ban of 2018. So it's on, folks. This is getting real. But this comes despite the fact that the FBI had every opportunity in the world to stop the Florida shooter. Countless warning signs were documented. They could have easily found out that he was a troubled young 19-year-old who just bought an AR-15 and then went and paid him a visit, but they didn't do that. So the fact is, they definitely could have stopped him without trampling on everyone's Second Amendment rights. But that's not the agenda here, ladies and gentlemen, and so here we are. I exposed this fact in a recent video titled, "Breaking Stoneman Douglas High School Shooting Official Narrative is Falling Apart." I'll include a link at the end of this video in case you missed it. And speaking of the president shooting himself in the foot, Trump is about to implement a trade war with tariffs on steel and aluminum to the tune of upwards of 25%. And the world is reacting. In fact, Canada, China, and the EU are threatening to retaliate. Canada seeks exemption to Trump's steel tariffs, vows retaliation. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau calls proposal absolutely unacceptable and warns of serious disruption. Canada is seeking an exemption to new US trade restrictions on aluminum and steel and is vowing to retaliate if it's slapped with any new tariffs. And in case you needed any more proof that Justin is just an absolute tool, watch him here as he scrambles to find all the talking points that were given to him because he clearly has no clue what he's talking about.
We import more steel than the Americans we have a significant trade surplus. The Americans have a significant trade surplus with us on steel. which means we buy steel from them, they buy steel from us.
Yes, Justin, that's how trade works. Imagine that. You know, for a former substitute drama teacher, you'd think he'd be a little more convincing at this point. But the fact is, these tariffs have triggered massive turmoil across the American economy as the Dow fell 600 points in just the few hours following Trump's announcement. So this stock market dip just reflects the enormous impact that a 25% trade tariff on imported steel and a 10% trade tariff on imported aluminum is going to have on the American economy, because most of these American businesses completely rely on aluminum and steel. They're used to build cars and buildings and home appliances, not to mention beer cans, which Americans have come to love so dearly. So more expensive steel and aluminum really just translates to a higher cost for the American businesses that are making these products. And these higher costs are likely going to be passed on to the consumer. So yeah, this sucks big time. And then there's this. 14 years ago, Martha Stewart went to jail because her financial advisor told her bad news was coming and she sold $230,000 in stock. This week, longtime Trump advisor Carl Icahn dumped $32 million in stock in a company reliant on steel imports days before Trump announced steel tariffs. Carl Icahn is a billionaire investor and a major Trump supporter, and he started selling shares in his crane and lifting equipment supplier company called Manitowoc on February 12th, just a few days before Trump made the announcement. He was able to sell his shares for around $32 to $34. And then on Friday morning following the announcement, shares in the company dropped 9% to around $26. So he either had some seriously good luck there, or there's a lot more going on behind the scenes here that we don't know about. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. And moving on to our second story, whether you love him or hate him, Alex Jones and the Alex Jones YouTube channel has just been suspended from posting videos to YouTube, so the tip of the spear in the info war may have just been temporarily chopped off. The Alex Jones channel has received 2 strikes in just the last 2 weeks, both for violating YouTube's policies on harassment and bullying, but the second strike was removed because they say it was just a simple mistake. Bloomberg reports that YouTube's new moderators mistakenly pull right-wing channels. YouTube's new moderators brought in to spot fake, misleading, and extreme videos stumbled in one of their first major tests, mistakenly removing some clips and channels in the midst of a nationwide debate on gun control. So they claim it was a mistake, and then they immediately follow that up by suspending his channel. So was that also a mistake? Accident or not, the fact of the matter is, it seems that these left-leaning social justice warriors have managed to climb their way to the top of these various social media platforms, and their ideologies are now beginning to set policy that we all have to deal with. But what happens when they get it wrong? As journalist Tim Pool puts it, I find it scary that YouTube is taking down conspiracy videos. The problem is tough. Fake news is really bad. But should people have a right to freely express themselves even if they're wrong? What if YouTube decides a news report is a conspiracy, but it turns out to be true? And that's what this all boils down to, folks. Do you really want Google to decide for you what is trustworthy news when they themselves have already proven to be very untrustworthy? I reported on this a couple of days ago in my video titled "ThemTube is Purging Independent Media Channels, but we have a solution." So I'll include a link in the description below in case you missed it, so that you can learn what the majority of us in the field of independent media are currently doing about this. And last but not least, are the guys from Fubar and the Trailer Park Boys awake and aware of Press for Truth? Well, I can tell you that the Trailer Park Boys are certainly pretty awake to these issues. In fact, I actually got to spend some quality time with them talking all things PFT. But to be quite honest, most of our meeting took place in a small closet, which got turned into what some might refer to as a good old-fashioned hotbox. And so needless to say, our products here in BC got them far too medicated to do an interview. But I can tell you that they are hip to the issues that PFT exposes, and so let's just say we may be talking to them again in the near future. I'll definitely keep you posted on any further developments there. And on that note, Do you remember the guys from the movie Fubar? Well, those crazy cats from Alberta have a new TV show out, and a recent episode had them questioning what some of the causes might have been of the Fort McMurray fire, and this is what they had to say. Check it out.
That's fucking Diener's base. And woke up and it was fucking smoke. Diener fucking started the fire. It wasn't me. I'm gonna have to get fucking lawyers. The whole fucking OJ team of lawyers.
Have you heard of a little thing called Jewish lightning?
Is that like a drink?
It's all an insurance scam.
Press for Truth presents.
The blame rests on state control.
They were putting napalm down.
Fires are no exception.
Okay. The government started the fucking fires.
Government, Terry.
Yeah.
Hey, so how about that, eh? Turns out they're not just a couple of hosers, but they might actually know what's up, eh? In all seriousness, it is just a comedy show, and they are just joking around. But the fact that they aired a clip of Press for Truth speaking ill of the government on national television makes them A-okay in my books. And that's it for today's installment of What You Need to Know. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please like it, share it, and comment on it, because it really does help with YouTube's algorithms that have been designed to hide my videos from your view. And I want to give you a friendly reminder that this channel is only made possible with your contributions at pressfortruth.ca/donate, where you can contribute Bitcoin, or even good old-fashioned fiat with PayPal, or better yet, you can sign up to the Patreon alternative, where you can contribute to this channel on a monthly basis. It's a great way to show your support, and I want to thank everyone who has already signed up. You guys rock, and it's because of you that these videos are possible to be made. So thanks for watching, my friends. Stay tuned for more video reports coming soon. This is Dan Dix reporting for Press for Truth.